Welcome back YouTube to another workout with Dan. Today we have a push session, 3 chest exercises, 2 shoulder exercises and 2 tricep exercises. Normally heavy-ish sets on the first 2 sets, and then the third set will take a slight bit of load out and just try and go for a few more reps. So the first 2 sets are normally anywhere between 8 and 12, and then the last set 12 to 15. Got a variety of movements coming up for you. You'll notice that I don't actually barbell bench press or flat dumbbell bench press, mainly just focusing on pure bodybuilding movements, and a lot of the machine work is probably a little bit more beneficial for isolating the intended muscle. So this I've been going to war with a lot in my off season when I was a little bit fatter. I say off season, it wasn't necessarily a bodybuilding off season, but when I was fatter I got fairly strong with this. So this is the chest hammer strength chest press. I'm a bit disappointed this was a little bit faster than it should be, but overall we got the reps out there. So we did 2 heavy-ish sets where you can see I'm grinding for that last rep, 2 heavy-ish sets and 1 back off set. So I think I did 65 either side, and then down to 55 just for a little bit of more slow and controlled reps on the last set really. As a first movement, I really like this. Again, I prefer this over dumbbell bench press at the moment just because of the stability. As I'm getting a little bit lighter, stability doesn't seem to be there as much. So yeah, that's why we've got this in. So the first shoulder movement we have today is a dumbbell lateral raise, which will probably come to a bit of a surprise, as you'd probably think we'd have a pressing movement. However, I'm not overly strong in the pushing movement. My triceps are dominant, and it really just isolates my medial delts, so that width of the shoulder. Went up to 17.5 kg, so this was my second set on these. So realistically could be getting a little bit higher, but it was a new weight that we were touching, so we know where we need to improve. So first thing, you always have to pick the right song before you're going into your heavy set. And then we're going to be showing you how to get into the cuffed chest flies. They are awkward, so how I'll do it is I'll tighten up one side, literally grip that hand, come over, leaning into it, and here you've got quite a big bicep isometric and pec isometric to stop you from flying over. Check that the weight's the same, lunge forward, then sort of squat down in and relax into that bench. Don't go back too fast, otherwise you will get slingshot into it. It is an awkward movement to get into, however the contraction you can get and the squeeze you can get is delicious. So the benefit of having the cuffs a little bit higher away from your wrists is it's taking a lot of pressure out of the biceps. You can have them on the bicep, on your upper arm. I personally feel that a little bit nicer in this position here. So again, this was high volume. This felt easier than it did last week, so I actually did, I think, a set of like 15 for my first set, then 13, and then 15 again. So the volume on that was a little bit higher, which is good. It just means next week I'll be able to hopefully go up a weight plate, and we'll see if I can keep the tempo there. With this movement, we're looking to get elbows together, so don't worry about where your hands are going. Try and think elbows together, squeezing your chest throughout. Now we are moving into our second shoulder movement. A lateral cuff raise, also sometimes referred to as like the that's easy for me to say, crucifix raise. Fastly becoming one of my favorite shoulder movements. Again, we're using the cuff, so you don't have to worry about gripping onto the ball or what's going on at the forearm. And the benefit of the cable variation compared to a dumbbell variation is the constant tension throughout. Obviously, if you think about the weight of a dumbbell when it's directly down by your side, there's minimal tension on your medial delts, where here, constant tension, slow and controlled, fast becoming one of my favorite movements for delts. Really progressing nicely with these. And nothing special here, just going into a low incline Smith machine press. Again, I said I've moved away from barbell bench, but we have kept the Smith machine just so I can slow and control isolate. Again, we're going for sets of 12, and then a back off of 12 to 15. Your bread and butter movement, really. We've got it towards the end of the session. I know that weight isn't going to be amazing on that. It's just we're locked in nicely, can control it, and really focus on the contraction of the chest. So weight on that movement isn't a priority for me at the moment. As I move more and more into the bodybuilding realms, I realise that it's more about how you move the weight as opposed to how much you move the weight, which isn't great for my ego, but it's pretty good for my physique. Now moving on to the first of 2 tricep movements, we've got an low incline dumbbell skull crusher. You can do these single arm depending on your shoulder stability, but in this movement I still feel safe and secure. I find that the low incline just feels a little bit nicer on my shoulders as well. Again, this was a new weight today that we worked with, so I was happy to get out, I think like 9 or 10 reps in this first set. So happy with that. And then for the last rep, you'll see I really milk the eccentric. So this one coming here, slow, slow, slow on the way down, and then just roll it. Next, we went into a dual tricep press down. Again, you'll see the cuffs here. I was on a bit of a tight time schedule, so I had to do them bilaterally, so both at the same time. And you see just there, I caught the balls on each other a couple of times. So wasn't a huge fan of these, but we just got a little bit of load through the triceps to finish off. Big fan of these single arm, however, so that wasn't bad. And then finally, this was pre skull crushers. Just had to get a little bit of a physique update and get a reel for the Instagram. If you're not following my Instagram, go over to Mr. Vanity Smith and share some love. But post pump or mid pump, I should say, pretty happy with how we're looking. The vascularity is definitely there. We've got a lot more digging to do. Obviously, you only see me at my best here. There's a lot of work still to go, but overall, really happy with how everything's going. If there is another workout that you want to see, or if there is further details on our sessions, on my training, on my nutrition, whatever you want to know about the prep, always drop a comment, drop a like, and let me know. And as always, I appreciate every single interaction from you guys. The results been awesome so far, and we're still growing. Ironically, we're getting smaller as we're growing, but we're growing a presence, and I love you all for that. Peace out. Have a great day.